Before most countries began the process of decolonization, about 1/3 of the world was part of a colonial empire. Since then, about 80 of those nations have gained independence. Between 1945 and 1960, 36 new states in Asia and Africa achieved self-rule or complete independence from their European colonial rulers. At the beginning of World War I, many European nations found it necessary to focus their military forces on the European stage, rather than keeping them in the colonies. This distraction gave the opportunity for more nationalist movements to arise. During the wars, the Allies found it hypocritical to have a policy of fighting tyranny in Europe while at the same time maintaining dominance in their colonies overseas. This helped contribute to the growing popularity of anti-colonialism. Many of these colonies helped provide supplies and troops for the war effort in hopes of gaining independence, but ended up gaining little recognition. Neglection from Europe led to dissatisfaction from the colonial people. The suppression of different groups within colonies therefore led to an increase in nationalism and nationalist movements to attempt to gain independence. The need for reconstruction after the destruction caused by the World Wars paid a heavy toll on European economies. After World War I, many nations had completely exhausted their funds, leaving little room for maintaining a colonial empire. In addition, the colonies were no longer necessary to most European countries, giving them little reason to keep supporting the empires. It was almost economically necessary that the colonies were granted autonomy or independence. At the end of World War II, the United States and the Soviet Union emerged as superpowers. Both influential nations shared anti-colonialism views. This put pressure on other European nations who still retained colonies to retreat from colonialism in fear of being targeted by either the United States or the Soviet Union. When the United Nations was created in 1945, there was assurance of the presence of an anti-colonial power. This put pressure on European nations to grant independence to their colonies. England was devastated after both world wars, and they were no longer able to afford or support their Indian colony. India and Pakistan achieved independence in 1947. For France, humiliation in World War II drove them to rebuild their reputation and attempt to maintain their colonial empires in Northern Africa and Vietnam. France had no intention to allow self-rule, let alone grant independence to its colonies. Thus, nationalism became stronger and resulted in riots and movements for independence. Of France's 23 African colonies, 19 were independent by 1970.